Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the H-Town Rundown Houston Rockets basketball podcast on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. We've got a lot to talk about today, so let's get right into the intro. Yes, sir. We are back once again to discuss Houston Rockets ball, man. I'm glad to be back. I'm here with my boy Ryan. Ryan, bro, how are you?
I'm good. Just, the weekend, time to sit back, relax. I've been writing a lot, so I finally got a little bit of peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, with that, be sure to follow us at the H-Town Rundown. We got YouTube, we got an X account, we got Instagram, man. Check it all out. You can follow me at drip2piece_TAWD on X as well as Instagram. And be sure to follow my boy, my host here over here at Ryan Diam15 Instagram and X. He's also on Sports Illustrated as well. He'll be writing articles out there. Be sure to check out the Houston H-Town Rundown website, man, at htownrundown.org. Now let's get right into it. We got a lot to talk about from the new training facility all the way to some depth and versatility, some comments that were made during that little bit there at the training facility. And then we got to talk about potentially a new starting five. But let's start in the nitty gritty right now, man. That training facility, bro, that looked fire.
Yeah.
Man, Ryan, what can you tell me about the facility, bro?
What I really like about the facility is the outdoor area where they have like the grass, and it looks like they have like some ramp that like you have to like run up and it's grass. Like the whole outdoor facility just looks phenomenal.
It looks crazy. Yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. crazy. But with that being said, I mean, there's a lot that's gone into it, and it seems like all of the players like it. Everybody seems to like it, and not very many. I mean, even the locker rooms look absolutely insane. I'm trying to put some pictures here.
Lackard reported on it, and what Lackard reported on it sounded really good.
100%.
I need to go find his article on it again, but what he said about it was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty excited to see what ends up happening. I mean, like I said, all the players seem really hype about it. And not to mention, it seems pretty solid. Now, let me get this going here. This is a video from the Rockets Wire here on their YouTube channel. Now, we don't own any of this here, so we ain't taking credit for it. We're saying that out loud right now before we start here, but let me share my screen. Ryan, did you have something to say?
Yeah, just on top of the whole facility thing, the one thing that obviously it happened during the unveiling of the facility, but the thing that stood out to me is what Tillman Fertitta said. The Rockets have the deepest team in the league.
They really might.
I think we do, but we can get into that more later once we wrap up.
Absolutely. All right, let's jump into that. Look at this.
So I will say that this is actually my first time watching the video because all I've seen are the pictures, but that looks phenomenal.
Dude, That shit looks crazy.
So
Again,
amazing.
shout out Rockets Wire for the video on for the Rockets channel and the website there. But dude, that looks
That's
crazy.
amazing.
Top of the line equipment.
Oh, that player lounge looks sick.
Dude, the entire facility. Entire facility.
The entire facility is so dope.
Now, let's talk
But I
about
will say it looks like the weight room was really far from the court. Unless I'm tripping on that. But it does look like the weight room was not close.
I would say that there's probably like more they probably didn't show us like every single way to get to everything. You know what I mean? There might be some other things, but we don't know. You know,
also the locker room looks sick.
Yes, it did. I think that player locker room is going to be phenomenal.
And what I did hear is that the lockers are actually a lot bigger. And on top of that, I don't know if you know this, Jalen Green and Alperen Şengün, their lockers are right next to each other.
Right next to each other, baby. Yeah.
Chemistry, baby, chemistry.
Yes, sir. We like to see it, man. Remember, coexisting. That's what we like to see. Now, there are some comments that were made, you know, but there is something that Tillman Fertitta said, talking about the NBA's deepest roster potentially going into next season. Tillman Fertitta said, and I quote, "There's no deeper team in the NBA than us. We are expecting a great year," unquote. Ryan, how do you feel about that, man?
Bars,
man. I don't know. I mean, we're not saying that we aren't. Not saying that we aren't a really deep team. We do have a lot of guys on our roster that are like the 11th, 12th man that might not see very many minutes, but would be okay role player on other teams.
We could play down to 13 deep if we were going to, if we absolutely had to. But I think at most what we're going to play up to is 9. And if we play to 9, that means we have Jayshawn Tate out of the rotation. Thank God, Baruch Hashem. We have Jock Landale probably out of the rotation. Baruch Hashem as well to that. Aaron Holiday will probably see minutes here and there.
But not like a consistent.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably be that consistent player that fills in injury minutes or just some rotation minutes that need to be played.
Break glass.
The player isn't playing well. But yeah, I think the deepest we'll probably go is Steven Adams. And I don't even think Steven Adams is going to be a great backup center for us. I don't know how many minutes he will see, but he'll probably be in that rotation for sure.
I mean, regardless, when I say this, I need you to breathe, Ryan. All right. Take a deep breath for me real quick.
Let me guess.
We still haven't said
anything. Be in the rotation no matter what.
No. I'm not saying that he's going to be in the rotation, but he's a player that is probably going to be a break glass guy too. Because I don't see Adams being, I don't see him playing 78 games. Right.
No, I don't either.
I just don't.
But what I did see is that Steven Adams played really well in the first practices or whatever, training camp or whatnot. I think that was, I think Brad tweeted that. I don't remember who reported it, but I remember seeing it.
Yeah. I mean, he looks good. He looks healthy and all that. But goodness, how many stories and articles have we seen? So-and-so looks healthy from injury, and then when they play in the regular season, you know what I mean? We'll just have to wait, and hopefully this is true. But, who knows? But regardless, right, I just don't see Adams playing 70-some games.
And on top of that, I think it's Adams' first, really serious injury that he's had throughout his career. I could be wrong, and he's also aging, so it's I doubt we'll see 70, 78 games from him either. But
yeah, so I imagine Jock Landale will play a couple games.
I mean, it's inevitable.
Yep. And then along with that, we still have that Jack guy that
Jack McVaw?
Yeah, McVaw.
Something like that.
Lights out shooter from overseas. Played phenomenal and some great minutes for his team over during the Olympics. Glad we were able to scoop him up. It was really interesting. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. And I don't know where he plays, where he fits. We haven't even talked about Jeff Green yet. My goodness. Hopefully he doesn't have to play very many games. I don't expect more than.
Okay, 20. So I found the article I was looking for from Lackard about what he said about the facility.
Okay, let's go back.
I quote what Lackard said: "The 75,000 square foot building is 3 times the size of the team's current area at the Toyota Center. 3 times the size."
Those courts look really nice too that they had out there. The side by side this too, dude. This facility, I really hope it's this is a good investment. This is what we like to see from our owners. Really investing in our players. We don't get to see that very often, man.
And what better time to do it than now?
Yeah,
I agree with Ruby. He's right. I've been saying that. I've been saying that since before we drafted Reed.
Yeah. We will for sure see what ends up happening for that. But we'll talk about rotations and all of that here in a few minutes. Shout out our boy AD, man. Appreciate you jumping on. And then shout out boy King Beard out there, AP, man. We had a great show on Rockets Round Robin last night. We will talk about the cat trade a little bit later on, but for right now, we're gonna stick with what we got. But yeah, so Tillman Fertitta talking about us being really really deep. He also says that this has been a very important project for the franchise and whatnot. I don't know, Ryan. Investing in your players is something that I don't think a lot of teams are not that not a lot of teams, but
the Pistons definitely
don't do enough. I would say.
Okay. See, I agree what you're saying about you have to invest in your players at all times, and I think for the Rockets right now, it's the most perfect time for them to invest in their players.
Yes.
And look, I think the Pistons, right? Like I just said, the Pistons aren't, but the Pistons should. And the reason why is they're a young team who are trying to develop and grow together.
Dude, Jaden Ivey and Cade is going to be so good. Phenomenal.
And this is exactly what the Rockets are trying to do, and that's exactly what they are doing. Tillman Fertitta said, okay, look, we're going to build this new facility. We're a team. We're growing together. And if we're growing together and we want to build around this squad, we might as well invest, make a whole new practice arena or practice facility so they can go there together and practice at the same time and build chemistry.
Yeah.
And it's probably also a lot more comfortable for them. I mean, it's 75,000 square feet.
$70 million training facility.
What a perfect time to make that move to invest in the players of this team.
Yeah.
And another thing I think is, on top of just investing in the players, they're showing these players why they should want to stay here. They're showing them that they want them in Houston by investing in them.
What I like to see. That's what I like to see, man. So with that being said, I feel like there's a lot of great things that we talked about.
The Rockets are on the horizon of some fantastic things in the future.
With that being said, Houston's still young. And those are Fertitta's words. Exactly. We're still young. But I think at the beginning of last year, coming from Pastor, we said youth is not an excuse. And I want that to be falling into next season. All right. Being young doesn't mean you can't win. We saw last season a lot of the young guys, a lot of young teams taking the league by force there. We saw Orlando going crazy. We saw the Pacers just being phenomenal. And then OKC, of course, with what they've got going on.
And look at what OKC is doing. They're investing in their players too. They're bringing players to build around their squad. Like they just brought in Hardenstein to say, we want to win together. We want to win now.
That rebounding thing that they had the issue with last year. They couldn't rebound for shit.
They're investing in their squad. That's exactly what they're doing.
They've got a great rebounder out over there. Now, whether that works or not, I think that remains to be seen.
They have one of my favorite Rockets of all time now. No, legit. I had DMs going back and forth with Hardenstein from years ago, but they exist.
I respect it. So with that being said, Fertitta ends up talking about, throughout the rest of the time, talking about the expectations for, Green, Shingu, and Eason and the rest of the core and all of that. But like I said, he mentioned that the team is very young. And again, to quote that his conversation, that he says, and as we all watch the greats who have ever played the game, you're not great until your third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh year. I don't think Michael Jordan won his first championship until his seventh. And then he goes on to talk about Hakeem Olajuwon, asking when he won his first championship, and Olajuwon said his 10th season. Fertitta answered saying, "We don't want to wait that long. The point is, we're very young. There are very high expectations.
Look,
we have to get a little older."
As a fan, I don't want to wait that long either. But realistically, I mean, our average age is probably around 24, 25. I'm not exactly sure. But, I mean, our core seven are all under 23 years old and younger.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Something like that. Yeah, I think Tari's 24 and he's the oldest. something like, or Jalen, he's 22, something
Tari's
like
the
that.
oldest, I believe.
I think Tari is the oldest at 23. Yeah, but I mean, we're probably gonna have to wait a few years, especially with the Western Conference being as tough as it is. So, but
Right.
did the Western Conference get a little bit easier last night?
We'll
Get into that.
We'll talk about it. We will get into that for sure. It's a fantastic segue. Along with that, like I mentioned earlier, Fertitta and Stone were both saying that the Houston Rockets have best depth and versatility in the entire NBA. We talked about our roster depth at the beginning there for a little bit, but my question is, how does our depth stack up with the rest of the league? I mean, you look at OKC, up and down. I mean, they have Alex Caruso likely coming off the bench.
I think the only team in the league that could potentially be deeper than us is New York.
Sure. Yeah. No, because New York's got their starting five, and then
let's say Mitchell Robinson comes off the bench. They have Deuce McBride off the bench, who's a good role player.
You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I mean? New York is still.
Well, we still have to talk about the Boston Celtics, who still have everybody on their team, right? But these are East. We're not worried about the East. We're not worried about the East right now. We're worried about the West. And like we've said before, I mean, LeBron 80 just got done playing in the Olympics, hard minutes in the playoffs too. Denver Nuggets. I mean, they had a 7-game series, and then Jokic and Luka playing hella minutes throughout the Olympics,
and
then
not even just Murray.
You know what I mean? There are a lot of players, and then Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, right? So with that being said, some of these teams that are supposed to be on the upper echelon and elite teams, they're not. They just got done playing a lot of minutes. So what are they going to look like coming back into the season?
I don't know. I'm not going to have any bias here. I think playing hard minutes overseas, it's been 2 months now, almost. I think, yeah, sure, they don't have a whole off season to rest their body, but this is what they do professionally. This is their job.
Sure. But I will counter this. Last time LeBron and AD played hard minutes throughout a playoff series or some sort of Olympic ball and whatnot, and came back within less than 2 full months to start the season, they got beat in the first round. The last time that happened was the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
They had they won their games 4-1 the entire way up to the Western Conference, and then beat the Heat 4-2, and then came back the next season after winning the championship and were atrocious. They kept getting hurt and hurt.
And also another thing about the bubble, just on top of playing hard minutes, is you go from not playing at all and just being able to relax for 2 months to going to play some of the most competitive basketball I've seen in my life. I mean, there's no distractions. It's just pure basketball, and you're just that's all you're focused on.
Yeah,
and you're banging up your body, and
that's what I look at. That's what I'm looking at, is that players like that who've been notoriously had issues coming back from playing hard minutes. I mean, Kevin Durant, he played in the 2020, 2022, I think it was 2020 Olympics, right?
Did he play in FIBA?
Yeah, because he played with like Devin Booker and Jason Tatum and Bam Adebayo in, I think it was 2021, right? So I don't know. KD's been playing a lot of basketball lately, and then as of goodness, the last couple of years, it's I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I don't want to speculate necessarily people get hurt, but like maybe that opens up the league a little bit for us, right? For positioning and all that. On the show, I've been saying the 7th, 8th seed consistently. But with the trade last night,
I think we're 5th seed. I've been saying it for the past week and a half, 2 weeks. I think that we're a 5th seed, regardless. I was saying even before Cat got traded, but I think my article that actually just got uploaded, I think in the last 20 minutes or 20 minutes ago, it was about how does the Karl Anthony Towns trade affect the Rockets?
Yeah.
And
let's get easier.
Let's get into stats quickly. I think if we're going to talk stats, Şengün, in his career, he's a 21, 9-5 player, or at least last season he was.
Last season he was.
Right, that's what I said. And against Cat last season, he only averaged 17 and 7 and 1 assist.
What does that say?
Well, with Cat being gone, the Rockets have a higher chance to beat the Wolves. So if we beat the Wolves and there's other teams that can also beat the Wolves, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to be a higher seed than them, But I think if we can beat them, that means that our record goes up. And if our record
100%.
goes up, we get into the play-in or playoffs. And so
I
at this
think,
point, if we're not a play-in team, it's not going to be acceptable.
depending on how the season goes, I'm willing to agree with you on that. Things got to break right though. But yeah, like I said, 6th seed. I'm there with you all now. I don't know. I find it hard to see how Randall is inserted into the lineup quickly and is allowed to flow with the team chemistry and all that.
And with Randall, his health.
Yeah, he played 46 games last year and got hurt again in the playoffs. So what's that looking like? Now he played 70 games the 2 seasons prior, but last season a little shaky, right? So what's that looking like coming in to this year and seeing how he's going to affect that team? And then along with that, I mean, regardless, he's still a fantastic addition. I mean, his seasons over there, he averaged with New York, I believe, something along the lines of 22, 10, and 5. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice.
That's when he broke out. He got traded from, what was it, New Orleans to New York and started going crazy.
Yep. And last season, though, the thing I will say is his shooting took a complete dip. He only shot 31% from 3 last season, 31.1% from 3. The big issue with the Wolves was that you had 2 big men that you could have on the court essentially at all times, or one of them on the court at all times.
And one of them could shoot that 3 ball a little bit.
Yes. Well, Cat was a 40% 3-point shooter. He could shoot that thing.
I did not know it was 40%. I had no clue.
For his career, shoots almost 40% from the 3 in a couple seasons. Yes, he's when he said he's the best shooting big man of all time. I'm not saying.
No, I agree. I think he is. No, it's Shaq. Come on,
for sure. But he is phenomenal in what he's been doing, and it is unfortunate that he got completely blindsided. I just have a hard time.
His tweet was so sad.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how the team forms. And like, I don't know, Naz Reid coming off the bench is great, but the thing is that you could run Cat and Naz Reid, Gobert and Naz Reid. Now you're running Gobert, Naz Reid, sure, but
Julius Randle, Naz Reid.
That's what I'm saying. You mean to tell me you're going to have 2 6'8" centers out there at Naz Reid and Randle? Interesting. I mean, are they trying to just get out and run? That's the question. Are they like
This team is Anthony Edwards save us team.
I saw that meme, 100%. I don't know what they're gonna do, and Mike Conley is he's just getting too old, man. And what's Rob Dillingham's minutes gonna look like now, right? You still got Nickeil Alexander-Walker out there who was phenomenal in the playoffs. Rob Dillingham is gonna be an elite guy for sure.
You know who else they have? Daishen Nix.
Yeah, you don't count.
Nix minutes go crazy.
Yeah, he don't count. Yeah, all 47 claps. I saw that.
Standing ovation.
Yeah, no. No Knicks business. You know what I mean?
But there was Knicks business last night.
There was?
Yeah, except not the right Knicks. Wow, we're in sync.
That's tough. Anyway, Ryan got jokes, guys. Ryan got jokes.
It was the wrong Knicks that got traded.
Traded with for sure. But yeah, I don't know.
Traded with, yes.
I just don't see the Wolves at first being that same team, right? Because like I look at them right now, right as they're constructed. If they're dropped to play against the Nuggets right now, they're not winning in 7. Right now.
They're not winning at all.
Can Randall be effective? I think he can. He's shown with his time with the Knicks that he was effective. Here's
my question, right? If we look at Gobert and we look at Julius Randle, or just Gobert, I mean, Gobert, he's not a fast player. He's not I'm going to run down the court player. But Julius Randle, he's not really that either. Cat was sort of that player for them. And when they had Anthony Edwards on a fast break, I just don't see how that's going to work.
Randle is more agile than Cat.
Right. Yeah, I just don't see how it works, though. I don't think he fits their system.
What I will say is their defense got better and their rebounding got better. Shooting and overall offense went down.
And their bench. DiVincenzo is going to be great for them off the bench.
So, again, Rob Dillingham's minutes are getting squeezed. That's what it comes down to is like, how are you going to find minutes for this guy who was upset reportedly in his role with the Knicks, which I don't even know if I believe that. He looked like he was.
There was a report about that?
yes, there was reports coming out today that Dante DiVincenzo was upset with his role with the Knicks. And if
No,
he
that's
was upset
crazy.
with his
And they got McCall Bridges. They could have the Villanova
the
trio.
Nova Knicks, and he wasn't ready for he didn't want to partake in that apparently. And if that's the case, hey, whatever. But
But
look,
why? Like, I mean, I
you're
understand
coming
why
up.
they
You're
went
coming
for
to
that.
the
But, like,
Wolves to come off the bench anyway. So
why would the Knicks or not the Knicks, the Timberwolves do that? Like, it's just
money. You got Cat who was making 220. You got Gobert who's making 196. Anthony Edwards just signed like a 250.
they should have traded Gobert instead of Cat.
The value's less. Despite
Gobert would have been good
I
for the
think
Knicks.
I think Gobert, I think his value is undervalued. I like him. He was a depoy, right? I just don't see players and teams looking at Gobert because you gave up, 5 first-round picks and
So
5 pick swaps for Gobert. You're not
you said
getting
that he's
that.
undervalued. Do
I do think he's undervalued a little bit.
you know what
Yes.
his contract is?
Yeah, it's high. He's making a lot of money.
5-year, $205 million.
Yeah.
Do you think he's undervalued still?
I think he's undervalued around the league, not necessarily contract wise. I think
Not
he's
contract
undervalued.
wise, but around teams and fans and the way they look
Yeah,
at him.
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure,
absolutely.
yeah, I get that.
Media portrays him. I mean, listen to anything Shaq says about Gobert, bro. You know what I
I'll
mean?
plead the
Like,
fifth.
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So that's all I'm gonna say on that. But regardless, I don't know. You had to trade Cat. There have been talks about trading Cat for a couple years. AK, shout out AK Infinity. Go check him out, guys. On the Rockets Run Robin and shooting the ish. He talks about in Rockets Propaganda on Twitter. He talks about how the Rockets, or not the Rockets, I'm sorry, talks about how if a player is in a trade and linked to specific teams, they are more likely to get traded. And Cat getting traded, not that I didn't see it coming, but man, that surprised me last night. I expected something.
Surprise to everybody, bro.
Now, I will say that the beginning of last season, they were talking about, well, it's Rudy Gobert or Karl Anthony Towns. That's what they were saying all last season until Cat started to show up, play really well, then the noise quit. And then what they did against Phoenix, you didn't hear about it at all the last 35 games of the regular season plus playoffs. You didn't hear about it at all. I thought the talks were dead. No, Cat raised his trade value. Now, you got a first-round pick, Dante and Julius Randle out of that. Money-wise,
Yeah,
it
no,
makes
they
sense,
did not get their value back.
yeah, man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. And that guard rotation is going to be really tough because you want to play Mike Conley. He plays
But the Knicks became a very good team.
The Knicks are pretty nice. Knicks
they're no longer a team of role players. They're a team of 2 all-stars and McCall Bridges.
I would say Bridges is a borderline all-star when he.
Yeah, I was about to say, but he's not
when he locks in.
Yeah,
specifically locks in. Brunson all-star, and then Cat. I really think Cat is Cat's an all-star. I think he's borderline all NBA just because he has phenomenal.
I just want to talk about this because I mentioned this in my article today. Without Cat in the West, there's a chance Şengün is an all-star if Julius Randle either 1 isn't healthy or number 2 doesn't play to his best.
Yeah, I mean, starting the season, Julius Randle, I don't know how he fits. Like they're gonna have to figure that out. Now, do I believe Minnesota to figure it out?
Starts like this coming month.
Yep. Yeah.
Really. Thank God, basketball is almost back.
Well, no, I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, I lost my train of thought, guys. My goodness. I'm looking at it like this. What's Randall going to look like starting the season? And I know this is Rockets. I know this is a Rockets podcast, but we really need to discuss how this affects the Rockets, right? Like I said, I think it makes us a 6th seed, but not only that, like Ryan's saying here, it might make Şengün an all-star. That could be the difference right there.
Şengün could be an all-star, which gives us a lot more media coverage.
Yeah.
And speaking of media coverage, I was watching NBA Today with Malika Andrews a few days ago. I think maybe it was Saturday. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday. No, it was Wednesday, I think. And it was Malika Andrews, Richard Jefferson, Kendrick Perkins, and someone else. And then another person. Don't remember who it was. But they were talking about the Rockets being the deepest team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And they pretty much all agreed with it.
Interesting. And I'm not saying that's a crazy thing to say. You know, I think that's a realistic thing. And I mean, we could be really deep. It just this all around everybody eats offense, right? Your stars eat a little bit more. But I mean,
So,
goodness.
and I think with media coverage comes a lot of negativity and a lot of positivity, and that's for
So
anything. But I
Jalen
think
Green is going to be in trades no matter what.
right, exactly, and it's already been doing. It's already been like that for 3 years now.
Yeah.
So if he really stays inconsistent, I think this year's the year that he gets traded. If he's inconsistent, doesn't play to his peak.
This is a make or break for a lot of guys on the
Yes,
team. Whether I want to say it or not, I think the goal would is to keep the core seven.
that's what I hope it is.
But I really think this is like a hey, if you're not playing well, don't want to tell you. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
and so I wish the best for all my guys out there. And I don't know. Like I said, Ime likes two guys, and I think they're going to stay no matter what. But everybody else, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard to see where everyone else fits. And a couple guys we haven't been talking much about, Ben Thompson, Cam Whitmore, you know, with rotations and whatnot. I mean,
I was
going to be
about
interesting.
to bring up a point about Ben Thompson. I actually saw a tweet.
Please.
It was yesterday, and someone said that he doesn't want to say it, so he went to the comment section and said it. And then he said, Amen Thompson is going to be the Rockets' best player, and that's going to be the player they end up building around. What do you think?
Interesting. I disagree because Şengün exists. Now, do I think Amen is going to be phenomenal? Do we think he's going to be better than last season? Yes. I think he's got hard work ethic. He's going to
continue to get better.
Yeah, we see it. I think the difference that makes him between an elite player and not is in the NBA today, if you want to be considered the best, you have to be the best at something or be able to do multiple things on the court at once. And yes, can he play defense? Sure. Is he a two-way player? Sure. But if you can't shoot the ball, I mean, name a player that's an all-star that can't shoot the ball that wasn't a top 1, top 2 defender in the league.
Name a player that can't shoot the ball that wasn't a top. Can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you look at Gobert, he was an all-star, but he was also defensive player of the year. He was one of those guys, right? That's the difference there. You have to be a top 2 defender or be able to average 35 a game. You got to be like Shaq.
I guess that's how I'm seeing it, right?
So
I guess the way I'm envisioning it is Tyler Hero, right? This is just an example because Tyler Hero, not good at defense, great at offense.
Yep. 3-level scorer. Yep.
But he averaged 21, 5, and 5 off the bench.
He did.
But his defensive numbers were slacking.
Didn't last year he averaged 24, 23?
Something like that.
Yeah,
he went into the season averaging 25.
So I don't know. It really just depends on the team overall too. I mean, he's another guy that could be a borderline all-star. I respect Harold when he got going out there. He's a phenomenal player, but despite the elite offensive talent he's got and being a great shooter, I mean, you got to be a 21 and 10 guy to get that coverage. That's the difference between him and Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, he averaged 21 and 11.
Right.
That's better than 25.
He had a lot of 30-10 games too. 25-10 games.
Yep, that comes out to be the difference. Now, can Amen Thompson do that? Maybe, but he's going to have to do that in the starting role. He's not doing that off the bench. He's not doing 30 and 10 off the bench.
No way.
Right?
But he got a triple-double off the bench.
Agree. No, he started.
No, did he start that game?
Yeah, that was the last game.
He started.
Yep. Now,
that only shows his potential, though.
Agreed. But Jalen Green's had a triple-double. And they get ready to ship him out. You know what I mean? Youngest duo ever between him and Şengün, putting up 30 and 10. They still want him gone. Houston community, by the way, the you guys watching the show, not the organization, as far as we know. Shout out
the organization wants him gone.
I really hope not, man. It sounds like, I don't know. Now AD got to pop up in here because we're talking shit. But yeah, man, appreciate you, AD, for popping in.
What's going on, AD?
It's unfortunate he's not showing himself. I want to see exactly what he's looking like.
I'm actually driving right now, so I don't want to.
This man's working and driving. We love it. But yeah, I know. Can Amen be phenomenal? Yeah, but he's not going to be the best player just because of the skill set. you have to be that top two guys, top three, in order to truly be someone that's, something like that. And I mean, if he becomes the best player on the team, one, either something happened, or two, he just got
Or
much
are we
better.
talking about are we talking about best player just next year or in general?
in general.
If you're talking about in general,
No,
amen.
we're talking about like how you get the media attention of being the best player in the league.
Well,
I'm
I'm
talking
just
about your
saying,
comments.
right. So what I'm saying is that amen literally, like, if you want to look at it in totality, amen is the best overall all around player, and he's going to be the best player on this team. Not saying that it's going to happen next year, but I'm saying in the next 3 years, absolutely, he's going to be better than Jalen Green. He's going to be better than Alperen Sengun
Wow.
because of what he can do on both sides of the basketball court. He can lock you down defensively 94 feet. He can rebound. He can pass the ball. Once he develops a shot, it's over.
You mean if he develops a
If he
shot?
It's
develop,
not
yeah,
if,
exactly.
it's
If.
when.
No, it is.
When?
Did you see his
When?
jump shot form in the offseason?
When he develops
AD,
the shot.
it does not sound like a
And
when.
let me go back because you made a comment, Preston, about the player that was, you know, I think you were making comparisons like Rudy Gobert and stuff like that. All defensive player.
Yep.
There's only like so many players. Russell Westbrook fits the category of what you're talking about. All
He shoots.
NBA.
He
Huh?
shot the ball. He shot the ball. He shot the ball higher than 33% his seasons. He was an all-star. And he had that perfect mid-range. He shot it over 55% from the
And he
open
averaged
range.
a triple double for 3 seasons straight.
He
And you
averaged
don't
30.
think
Is a
a
man
man
shooting
has the
30.
capability to do that?
A man has the
Russ
capability to
has
do
been
that,
able
but
to
I do
shoot.
not see him shooting over 35%.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let's. I gotta look up the statistics here real quick before I go off. But I'm pretty sure there's been a few seasons where Russ was higher than 33%. Is a man capable of shooting higher than 33%, being able to hit the pull-up midi? Because we saw him hit
He's
11 threes his rookie season.
well again. I will say what AD is saying about like the whole shooting thing and kind of against what you said. I'm gonna kind of debate it a little bit. It's not about the form. Look at Sean Marion, for example. Sure, a men's form is terrible, or it's not terrible. It's not good, but it's also slow.
Yeah,
And a slow jumper is not going to get you good shots.
100%, 100%. So I'm looking at his All-Star years between 2011 to 2020. I'm pulling it up here. On 2-point percentage, he shot almost 48%. That's pretty nice. 80% from the free throw line. Now, during that time, yes, he did not shoot very high
What
from
season
three. He
was
ended up
this?
only shooting
Was this
31.
17?
No, this is between 2011 to 2020, right? So in that 9-year stretch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I'm looking at it. He shot 33%, 32%, 32%. And now the 3-point percentage does fall off, but he's making more than 1.5, 2.5 threes. One season he shot 34% from three, right? 50% from 2-point range.
34% from three.
And we're also looking at it. I mean, my goodness, 77% from the free throw
And
line,
it's also
85, 84.
It's a matter of what position does Thompson end up playing.
It doesn't matter I mean, the only way you're doing that is what you're looking at the team composition, right? You're not running a Men and Şengün at the 3-5, 4-5 consistently starting and expecting a 5-out offense. You're going to be able to play the dunker spot, or you're going to be able to score layup. Sure, at the end of the day, if you're down 4, you want to hit a 3.
Right.
So I don't know.
And
That's how I'm looking at it.
I really do hope, and I pray that there's one day that Amen is that player who can bring us back when we're down 4 and like 30 seconds left.
Sure.
We hit that 3, but it's just I don't see it happening this season. But I do hope it happens.
That's the key word, the key phrase that you keep saying, and I think y'all are harping on is this season, and I think the way we're kind of going back and forth about it is like later on. Like I understand like right now that's not Amen's game, but I'm talking about in like 3 years. Like in 3 years,
Sure.
all of them should still be on the team. Alperen, Jalen, and Amen. And I just think that Amen is the going to be the alpha of the group.
I think there is
And
a real possibility of Amen being phenomenal. I just don't see him. I just don't see the mold there where he is the best, right? Just based on maybe I'm not seeing what you're seeing, AD. I'm not putting down Amen. I love what he's got going on, but I look at it like another player. Like look at Jabari Smith Jr. Man, prototypical forward, a guy who can play the 4-5 and against the bigger, tougher threes. He can play against them. And now he's got Steven Adams coming in. Hopefully, he can help him out with his aggressiveness and show a little bit of the help him out with his rebounding and whatnot. But Ryan, is your camera okay over there?
Well, my camera's
squeezing
squeezing
out.
No, I
Oh
know.
my gosh! But yeah,
Hey,
anyway,
Ryan, you shouldn't have been talking shit in the chat.
Oh man. But yeah, man, we looking at it like I don't know, Jabari Smith. I think it's gonna be phenomenal. What he's got going on there. AK isn't convincing me that Jabari's gonna be the best player. I'm still on. I'm still.
AK tried saying
still
Jabari
rocking,
Smith is going to be the best player.
AK, yeah, he really believes in Jabari, man. If he can get his aggressiveness up, though, it's not impossible. I mean,
It's not impossible, but at this rate, I don't know.
Let me say this: I was on the podcast with AK like a couple weeks ago. I don't really truly think he believes that. Like, I don't really think he honestly, wholeheartedly believes that. I think he says it and puts it out there, but
yeah. So it's like AD saying that Jalen Green is going to get traded.
He doesn't defend it with his life. Like what?
He understands that Jabari has the skill set to be an elite player, right? But with that being said, this is the first time I've ever had the conversation with the men potentially being, like I said, not next year, just overall potentially being that alpha, right? I mean, does he put in the work? For sure. Is he phenomenal? Absolutely. Do we like what you see? Sure. But there is a reason why he is no longer the backup to Fred VanVleet, and it's Reed Shepard. And I think that speaks volumes to where the direction is going for the team.
Because he grew 3 inches, and you can't have a 6'10" point guard.
First, Bev only 6'10". He ain't 6'10".
He's 6'8".
Luka's 6'7", 230.
He's 6'9" and a half.
Luka's 6'7", 230. You know what I mean? You can run.
Body, damn.
Yeah, he got the weight. And you got other players out there that are taller. I mean, goodness, he had LeBron listed at.
But is Luka the point with Kyrie?
Yeah. You see now Kyrie not just plays.
Okay, AD. What happened from 27? What happened from 2017 to when Kyrie got traded to the Mavs? Who was the point guard? It wasn't THJ.
No, it was who was it?
Is the right answer. Thank you. Luka.
Also, Luka averages 8.5 plus assists during that time. Is it some of it the heliocentric ball because he has the ball out?
Spencer Dinwiddie?
Yeah, we saw what point guard Spence Dinwiddie looked like for the Mavs, and that was
exactly.
terrible.
Yeah, I don't think
it was so bad they put that boy as power forward. Yeah. Again, Kyrie, he's a 2 anyway. He plays like a 2. When James Harden came over, what did he say? What did Kyrie say? James Harden, you're the point guard. Kyrie, he's a 2. That's a phenomenal role for him. That's what he does. Shoots the ball at an elite clip. He's a 2. He's a natural 2. He's a 6'2" 2. I don't know what to tell you. Luka we see the playmaking skills, right? LeBron, he's a forward, but goodness, he's a point guard. I mean,
he can play 1 to 5.
Yeah, you know what I mean? LeBron play
NBA
anything.
has become positionless basketball.
But regardless, we've seen the 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" guys be able to play. Magic Johnson, goodness, 6'10" point guard. Come on, what are we doing? Amen Thompson can play point. But in today's league, you got to be a shooter to play point. You got to be a shooter to play the 2. You got to be a shooter to play the 3. And in some cases, you got to be a shooter to play the 4 and 5. That's the issue we're having with the Wolves and Julius Randle right now. Because you got 2 guys out there who shot less than 32% from 3. So I don't know.
Yeah, Julius Randle's problem is that he's fucking lazy. I'm sorry for cussing, but he's freaking lazy. That's his biggest problem. Like, he could be a better player, but that's the reason why he got benched in New York. He's freaking lazy.
Who?
24 and 10. He didn't get benched. He got injured. He started all 46 games. He started every game he's played.
Oh, Randall?
Yeah.
He got injured.
Yeah, he got injured. He played, and every game he played, he started for New York.
So why did
Just,
the comments say that he got benched or he was about to be benched?
Because
I
NBA fans are not.
yeah.
I'll keep my mouth shut on NBA fans. I'm not.
Say it with your chest, Ryan. Say it with your chest.
Look, they goofy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They goofy. But look, my point on this is that it's going to be hard to see that running. Now, is it going to be a fun, defensive, athletic game? I mean, we were talking about running lineups, same starting five, but you've got Jabari moving to the five as like a sub out, right, and playing small ball five, and then a men coming in, and you take DB out and you put Tyrese in the lineup. So you're looking at Fred, Jalen, Amen, Tari, and Jabari. That's going to be super fun. Really, really fun lineup. Great defensive lineup there. But I mean, in terms of like shooting, like it's the issue of you've got a guy out there who is running around who can't shoot, right? We'd have Şengün, but a men's game is a lot different than Şengün. So you're swapping that five out for a men, and like you can throw him in the dunker spot, but it's easier to take out somebody of the game who can't shoot than somebody who can. That's just historically speaking. I mean,
Exactly.
you've seen shooters shoot that thing no matter what. I mean,
And
we're
that's what
used
the
to
NBA is now. The NBA is a shooting league.
So
we
when a man comes in and averages probably, let's say he'll get 33 or 34% from three, and he gets, above
Okay,
50%
so AD
in
question:
the two-point range.
Are you saying that 33, 34% is his career highest, or what are you saying that is?
No, I'm saying that's my hot take. He's going to average that this year.
34% from three would be crazy. I could see him averaging 34% on 0.6 attempts per game. But in terms of like taking three threes a game and
I just don't see it
making
happening.
1.2, yeah, man. We'd have to have some elite shooting coaches out there doing work. Would I love it to happen? Absolutely. I'd love it to happen. Is it going to happen? Absolutely not. Not on more than 1.5 attempts per game. He will not. And I just don't see
shooting
it.
form is just too slow for that to happen as well. He needs a
Not
faster release.
not even just the release, the form itself.
Okay,
Just
form
don't
isn't-
shoot the ball like that. Like we've even seen him not shoot his rookie year, right? And again, that's his rookie year. Things hopefully are different this season. But we've seen him not want to shoot the ball wide open on a three, and he pump fake and run. You know who else does that? Şengün.
We also drafted him not expecting him to be a great shooter.
Yeah. Yep. So we drafted Reed. So what does that say?
That tells me Amen Thompson, Reed Shepard with a screen from Şengün.
Interesting. I'm interested to see what like those lineups are going to look like without two shooters out there.
Yeah, I'm super bullish. I'm super bullish on Amen. To me, he's one of my favorites.
I respect it. AD.
Right,
I mean, you standing on business, and do I like him, man? Yeah, man. I think a lot of his skill set is IQ driven and defensive first mentality, rather than like I need to go get my 35. I need to go get my 40. I don't see him being that guy that's gonna put up 30, 10, and 10. Can he? Like a game or two, yeah, for sure. But like, is he gonna do that? For a season, is he gonna do? Is he ever going to average 30?
No.
You just don't see it with the amount of times he is scoring. And then even if he is Ime going to let him take that many shots to score 30?
She's not shooting like that. He's not shooting enough. And his shooting percentage will not be high enough for him to be averaging 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's never going to average 30 when JG is putting up 25 shots a night.
As JG should be, that's his role. That's what he does.
I'm just fucking around.
He's the shooting guard. You gotta.
AD standing on business for Amen Thompson is like me standing on business for Jalen Green.
I respect it. Game is game, for sure.
Not always.
But that does come down to the next kind of question here, right? Moving away from depth and versatility. I've hinted at the starting lineup a little bit. I do want to talk about, to end it off here, the overall starting lineup. We've got Fred, JG, DB, Jabari, and Şengün. as the projected starting 5 going into the season. Now, my question is, are there going to be some changes?
Maybe later on in the season. I think later in the season, would it be shocking to say that Fred gets moved to 6-man?
Yeah, he just makes too much.
Yeah, he
If
does
gets
make
moved
too
to
much,
this-
but like,
if he gets moved, his value goes down immediately, and we're not going to be able to trade him. And we're
okay,
gonna
well, then, okay, DB gets moved. Fine. But
DB's
his
gonna
value is also super high.
he's
So his contract is insane. Sorry, I'm thinking numbers. You're not.
20 million. 20 million for Dylan Brooks, bro. He's earned every penny of that contract.
Yeah, I
Every
agree, but I still think it's a lot of money for him to not be benched. Or for him to
which
be benched.
which I agree. Yeah, for him to be benched, I think that would be absolutely incredible. 20 million coming off the bench, and he's making, I think, like the third, second most on the team.
Right. So I don't see the lineup changing if that's the case. If those two aren't being moved, unless Jalen Green gets traded or he's not playing well and gets benched.
Yeah.
I mean,
So we're talking about them moving to the bench, but it could be a possibility. I'm not saying that Fred is going to be moved, but it could be a possibility that Dylan could be traded.
Right. That's
Right.
what I want to talk about. There was a trade proposal from Gorman last night on the Rockets Run Robin. Go check that episode out last night. It's a phenomenal episode. That he was talking about DB getting moved if there was someone who asked for 3 second-round picks for DB alone. If so, a team is like, yo, hey,
second-round picks.
3 seconds for DB. Is that something? I want to hear AD's response first on this. AD, is that something you would do, or
where's that sound bite? Hit that sound bite and say he gone. He gone.
For 3 second-round picks, you are on the train. You're ready for the for 3 second-round picks.
Yes, absolutely. Get him off my team.
You don't think DB is worth a first, like a late first, like a Milwaukee first?
No, he's not. He's not going to get a first. His value is not there for a first-round pick. Like he has a nice salary, but like for what he brings to a team, he's not going to garner a first-round pick.
Really, 3-and-D player, elite shooter,
but I mean,
being able to guard.
Hold on, elite shooter. Like we can pull up the stats.
Yeah,
we can pull up the stats and everything, but towards the end of the season, he was not elite.
Towards the end of the season,
he might have not been elite, but he was really good for us in the clutch.
Not only was he a clutch shooter for us, right, but he made great plays. He was a defensive guy who was able to apply pressure. What I'm saying, as an elite shooter, he shot career high from 3 last season, about 34% from 3, 35% from 3, taking crazy attempts too. Despite him tanking his own efficiency, he still was able to go with 34% from 3. Also, he was clutch on the free throw line. He was able to hit shots. Did he hit some weird shots? Do we have some antics? 100%, 100%. But creatively like that, you kind of need a guy like that on your team. He brings the energy, the culture. And I mean, like I say the Bucks because I think DB would be great for them over there. With Dame being able to help cover up for some of those mishaps. You got Chris Middleton out there who's playing maybe half a season. Giannis and another season of Brook Lopez. I think DB would be great out there if we can somehow just get a late first from them. You can have.
Here's my trade proposal. We throw Jalen Green and we throw Dylan Brooks in a trade package. And in return, we get Brook Lopez.
So what's the difference? So let me ask this question. What's the difference between a late first and let's say those 3 seconds are like in the high 30s?
Because a late first from a team that looks like a championship team right now looks better in the future than getting like a 12th pick in the second round.
So you're right, but I'm saying like in the 30s. Let's say the pick is like top 10 in the second round, or a top 5 in the second round.
There's still not a lot of work in that most of the time.
And I think the only difference is that the first round pick get a longer contract, or you have more time with them before you have to extend them. Whereas the second round pick, it's a shorter contract, right?
I wouldn't trade him for anything less than a first.
But
keep talking. So you're saying that there's going to be more value in these second round picks.
I think you can get okay. Let's say this second round pick. Let's say it's how the picks work or whatever. But let's say that this is eventually a Detroit pick.
Okay.
Which would be like a top 5 second round pick. Even though the team that we trade him to isn't Detroit, but they got it the way of Detroit, or
Sure.
something like that. Or one of these bottom sellers,
Sure.
bottom teams in the league that you get this second round pick from. Like, I don't see the difference between pick 28 and pick 32 or pick 34 or
Sure.
something like that.
Sure. Now I'm looking at it like this. You hear first round pick versus second round pick, and what makes you more excited?
I mean, that's that's
First pick,
that's the way it
first round
is.
pick. You're regardless of even if it is like a late first, right? You're looking at like, okay, I'm also not at all using the pick I'm getting from this trade. I'm not picking with that. That's trade fodder. That is now added to my collection of other picks that I have that I can make a swing a trade for, right? Using DB to get a late first, right, is going to be great because then you can package it up with your I think 7 other second round picks that you have in the next 4 or 3 seasons. And we still have some Phoenix picks, and I think we have one Nets pick. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I don't know. I think that throwing in a late first sounds better than throwing in 2, 3 second round picks. Now, if a team says, "Hey, we'll give you 3 seconds," or if you give us DB and Aaron Holiday for a late first and 1 second round pick, I'm doing that. I'm doing that
I mean,
immediately.
right now, Dylan Brooks off this team, to me, opens the door for Tari and
Sure.
other players, even Cam Whitmore, to get more
Can I ask you a
minutes. And I
question?
think that
Can I ask you a question, AD?
that's more important than. Go ahead.
Sure. So if hypothetically, if DB's traded, he's gone, right? Just DB. Who are you
Mm-hmm.
starting at the 3 spot?
Tari,
Tari over
no
Amen,
question,
despite what your
Tari.
conversation was earlier.
So okay, wait. At the 3 spot, you're not going to start Cam. I'm
No,
starting
you're not.
Cam.
You're not starting
No,
Cam.
no,
You're not
no,
starting
no,
Cam.
no, 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 no. You're not starting Cam.
You're not starting Cam.
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
But my question is, why are
Amen.
you so
Amen. Is
quick?
yeah.
I'm starting Amen. I'm starting Amen to Cam.
You're very quick to start Atari, which is fine. I think Tari should be the
Because I
consensus
think
guy to
Tari, I
start.
think Tari should start right now. Like, I think Tari should start right now, even with Dylan Brooks on this roster. So my thing is like that. Period. That
So
like I think like if he didn't
Tari
get
is
hurt,
better than Amen.
no, because I think a man is not just. I don't want to put him and pigeonhole him in the 3 spot, like
I
because
like
he's
that. Pause.
so.
Sure.
Huh?
Okay. No, no, sure. I'm agreeing with you. I'm letting you continue. I'm just
Yeah.
okay.
So like like Tari is a 3. Tari is a 3 combo. He can play small ball 4, but like that thing with Dylan,
Come
like,
on.
The 80 glitching y'all.
but that's
You
it.
you want
Like
to play the?
you're pigeonholing. Like Amen is so fluid that he can literally play 1 through 4 and not
No, he
and
can't.
Well,
handle his
Amen
business and be
cannot play
okay.
1 through 4. Amen cannot play the 2
Why he
spot.
can't?
He can't shoot.
yeah, you got to be a shooter to play too, But
But
like hypothetically speaking, um,
eh,
1, 3, and 5, I'll give you, or 1, 3, and
Okay,
4,
AD,
I'll
name
give you.
name me 1-2 spot ever that hasn't been able to shoot.
Well, back in the day, they didn't shoot the 3 ball.
yeah, it's a lot of
Okay,
them. But
fine.
you want to
In the
pull up in
3-point
the
era.
history?
In the 3-point in the 3, you mean like 3-point era as like the 2000s?
Yeah, 2000s on. 1-2 spot
Um,
that hasn't been able to shoot.
Good question.
I rest my case.
But again, I mean, Amen. I mean, well, it's not even necessarily pigeonholing him at the 3 spot because you can still give him point guard duties and 4 spot duties
And make him the
playing the
point
3.
forward. Make him
Right.
basically make
Okay.
him the
So
point forward.
let's say that our team is Fred, Jalen, Amen, Jabari, Shangoon, right? Or maybe not Jabari and Tari. You could go either way. You put Amen at that point guard. You put Fred at the shooting guard and Jalen at the small forward. That's what happens
Yeah.
when you have
Jalen at the 3.
Jalen at the 3. Yeah, Jalen at the 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a slashing shooter.
He's gonna get abused on the defensive end, but hey,
Yeah, still, I'm putting it. Anybody can have a different matchup. You don't have to match up with whoever you're playing against.
Sure. But then you got him at the 3, so that means he's attacking players like I don't know, like what's an elite 3? Oh my goodness, Jimmy Butler. Oh my goodness, Kawhi.
Hey, let's trade for Jimmy.
Absolutely the fuck not. We ain't changing. Excuse my language. We ain't changing for no sir.
I'm just saying. Hypothetically,
why not? Why? What is wrong with Jimmy Butler?
Ain't he like 90 years old? And we trying
Jimmy
to stay
Butler's
young.
35.
We starting to stay young, right? That's the issue. And we trading away older pieces in Dylan Brooks and debating about keeping Fred VanVleet, not just because of his age, but obviously his contract. You think Jimmy Butler is going to be making less than Fred VanVleet? No. And Jimmy's going to be with the team for like 3 years. That's great. That's really cool. We want a guy who's going to be with us for 8, 9, 10. That's the point. Building the future. Not worrying about right now, today.
Okay, let's say Cam Whitmore doesn't want to be on the Rockets, right? Okay. Well, let's say Cam Whitmore doesn't like it in Houston. Would you trade Cam Whitmore in a first for Jimmy?
How long is Jimmy staying? If he's going to stay for the rest of his career, sure. If
he's let's just say we keep our team as it is. We just get rid of Cam Whitmore and we have Jimmy Butler. I mean, we're playoff contenders. In fact, we're title contenders.
Okay, so insert him into the starting lineup. You got Jimmy, Fred, Jalen, Jabari, Şengün. Phenomenal. How does Şengün run with Jimmy Butler, who commands the ball so often?
It's a solid question.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Well, okay. How does Bam Adebayo do it?
Bam doesn't command the ball like that. We run shin hub.
You're right.
Plus, you also have Fred VanVleet, who commands the ball quite often. Not saying that Fred is a ball hog, but he works best with the ball in his hands. He also averaged, 8 assists last season. So
in words of Preston, I quote, "You're right. You're right." Yeah, you're right.
As I was saying, Jimmy don't fit the team. Do I like him? I think he's a phenomenal player. Absolutely. We'd have to change up the team sizably and get rid of quite a few players in order to make the team center around Jimmy Butler for him to be good for 3 seasons, and then that's it. We'd be trading away our future. We'd be looking like OKC, trading away some of these guys. We'd be looking like some of those other players, like like the Lakers when they traded away all those young guys for us. It'd be the same thing, except we'd be a super young team, and Jimmy Butler, who would be able to help with the culture, sure. He'd be a phenomenal upgrade. Yeah, right. It'd be a phenomenal upgrade over DB, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense for us to even try to go after. Unless Jimmy's wanting to come here on a veteran minimum, yeah, let's do it. But I'm not paying Jimmy $50 million because then going into the offseason, now we have to pay Şengün or Jalen instead of being both. I'm not putting myself in that position. So that's where I'm at with Jimmy.
I'm not saying that I want Jimmy. I'm not saying, but I mean, if Udoka is a win now coach, I think with Jimmy we become that win now team. But that's what I was just trying to get to. But
yeah, but we're not going anywhere past the second round with Jimmy. That's just the way we get it. We get exposed offensively.
Jimmy always finds a way to make it work.
Jimmy,
he found a way to make it work with one team.
Yeah.
I mean, but look at the counterparts at the other spots, man. Like we talk about,
you in 2018 had Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, DPOY candidate. You had JJ Redick, who was a almost 40% 3-point shooter, and you lost to Kawhi. Okay,
let me say this.
That's it. No,
let me say this. Joel Embiid. What has Joel Embiid done since Jimmy left?
He had a game winner hit on him.
He had an MVP. How many MVPs Jimmy Butler got?
No matter. Okay. That's not the point of the question. The question is about what has Joel Embiid done.
What has Joel Embiid ever done in the playoffs?
Jimmy without Joel has made it further in the playoffs than Joel has made it. Period.
MVP is a regular season award. MVP
and that's my point, is that I'm not worried about the regular season. You bring a Jimmy Butler on for the playoffs. Like, that's what you bring Jimmy on.
Sure.
Right. AD's yes.
And so
Sure. Okay.
and that's my whole
So
concern because that's when
And also
I'm
the thing,
playoff mode.
I'm gonna side with AD here. The thing with Jimmy is that Jimmy Butler is not a consistent regular season player. He
Tom
doesn't play at
Stafford
his
Preston.
what?
I say Tom Stafford Preston. Ryan is agreeing with me.
Yeah, I do agree with you on this one. So we're not talking about Jalen Green.
Okay, here's my question: is you talking about playoff mode, but we haven't sniffed the playoffs for 4 seasons. So how are we talking about the playoffs like we know
because
when we ain't
I'm
been there for 4
confident.
seasons?
I'm confident in this team that we're going to make the playoffs this year.
I mean, we're a fifth seed this
Confidence only goes so far. We gotta get results. We gotta get there first. Then we can talk about it because we don't even know what the team gonna look like in the playoffs. Is Şengün gonna fall apart? Is Jalen Green going 0-30? We have no clue. We got no clue. What is
If
What if you
Jalen,
want Jalen Green to go 0-30?
Hold on, let me say this. If Jalen Green goes 0-30 in any game,
no, here we go.
everybody needs to get fired. Jalen Green needs to get traded. Ime Udoka needs to get fired. Like, just blow it up.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
You know what I mean?
All right. I will not say anything. I will stay quiet.
Regardless of what Jimmy's gonna be able to bring you. Again, you'd have to trade so much because there's no way the Heat would be like, yeah, we'll take Cam in a first. Hell no, the Heat gonna take it. That man over there don't lose trades. Okay, he don't lose trades. He doesn't. He does not. You were giving him everything you got for Jimmy Butler. Okay. Even if it's just one, because he's got 1 season on his contract. He's a 1+1 right now this season, and he's got a player option. Do you think even if we made the playoffs, do you think he's staying? He didn't want to come to Houston when James Harden and Chris Paul was here.
That's because James Harden was here.
It don't matter. James Harden, Chris Paul, and Jimmy Butler with Clint Capella. We would have beat any team in the league. I don't care. Golden State Warriors or nothing like that. Jimmy Butler would have made that. It would have been crazy.
Yeah, you know he would have beat the Warriors regardless. If Chris Paul hadn't hurt his hamstring, we're in the finals. No, in fact,
revisionist history.
Hey, you going down the rabbit hole, Ryan?
Revisionist history. Jimmy didn't want to come here before. Is Udoka enticing? Did he see the progress of the team? Sure, he saw progress, but the progress didn't help us get to the playoffs. Even if it was tough, even if there were a lot of things that happened, there are a lot of factors. It don't matter. It's we did or we didn't, and we didn't. He's leaving. Why would he be leaving a team where he has built a culture and a legacy over there for, gone to the finals a few times, beaten these teams in an easier conference, by the way? Why would he come over here to fight Curry every night, to fight LeBron every night, to play against some of these other guys that are running the game at it? Okay, Luka. Okay, Anthony Edwards. Okay, SGA and OKC. John Morant. Yes. Come on, man. Come on.
Amen Thompson, Jalen Green.
You got more young guys over here. Huh?
Do y'all really think Ja's gonna make it through the season?
Yes. I think he's playing 60 games, yes. I don't think he's playing 65 because I think he's gonna understand that he needs to skip some games and miss out on some awards. But he's playing 60, yes.
No, I think he tries.
He's a stone cold shooter, man.
He's something. He's something, all right. And regardless of the fact, he's gone to a conference finals. He's taken teams. He's beaten the out of teams, man. I mean, he was the guy that took Golden State Warriors out of the play-in. Like,
people forget how good John Morant really is, bro. That one season when we didn't have him, people forgot.
Dude,
in those games that he played,
recency bias.
What?
Recency bias, man. You don't play for 20 games, it don't matter.
80, bro.
80 wrong for that. 80 wrong for that. So he wrong for that, bro. He is wrong for that. Bro. That's crazy. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But regardless, I don't see anything like that happening where I don't know. But my real question is, because Ryan, I don't think we really got your response for DB. Is Dylan Brooks?
If we're trading DB, I'm trading him for a first and nothing less.
Now, can I ask you this? I want to add on to that trade. If we have to give up an Aaron Holiday and Dylan Brooks to get a late first and a late second, are you doing that over 3 early seconds? Like if we were to get like a Detroit Spurs and Atlanta.
More minutes for Reed Shepherd and the rest of the squad.
All right. Okay.
That's
I
where
just don't know
stand.
if they're. I don't know. Where that's at now. If a team is giving me 4 seconds, I think I'm taking that over 3 seconds. I like if I'm getting second rounders, I want a lot. I want the bag for the second round picks, especially with Dylan Brooks. Now, is he gonna be? Are we gonna be able to get 3-4 seconds at a DB? I don't know. I
I
mean,
don't look.
considering that we didn't take 2 seconds for Jayshawn Tate, I don't know.
I will say if we do trade DB and Aaron Holiday, I'm absolutely expecting a first. If we're trading DB just by himself, fine, 3 seconds, whatever. But if we're trading both of them, I'm expecting a first because Aaron Holiday does bring a lot to the team. He brings a lot to the table. We saw it last year when we needed him in the clutch. He showed up. He had games where he was having what 15, 20 point games,
Yeah, he
shooting
had
the
30s.
lights out of the ball. So yes, I do think that if we're trading him and DB, I'm expecting a first at minimum.
Gotcha. AD man, what is the minimum you're trading DB for? Realistically, not no goofy shit. What's like what do you
No,
think?
I mean you said it like to me that's the minimum. It's 3
3
seconds.
seconds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a
Okay.
bad minimum.
It's not terrible. I don't know. Like I said, man, I hear 3 seconds and I'm like,
Give me 3
No,
seconds.
I am with you, but then I think about okay, the rest of the team. There's more minutes to go around.
He gone.
It's just gonna be interesting to see what happens. And I mean, whoever they're giving that starting spot to, whether it be Amen or Tari, they're gonna have to be ready. And Tari, I love him and I love Amen. I really feel like the energy that Tari brings from the bench is one of one. And would it be great for the starting lineup? I think it does. I think it helps
I don't
carry
see.
the team.
Okay,
But the energy that he brings off the bench is just
I agree.
invaluable.
I'm with you.
Invaluable.
He brings so much to our team off the bench. I don't think our bench would have the energy or the aggressiveness. I mean, he is the anchor of our bench.
Right. And it's not that the team isn't great. It's just like a man ain't coming off the bench saying yeah and clapping and yelling and getting dudes ear like that. Like he's Stone Cold Killer. He keep that Kawhi face that whole time too. Like he ain't be showing emotion. Reed Shepard, we have no clue what he's gonna look like. We just don't know. We saw something really look nice, but
I need Reed to cut that beard off though.
No.
He really look goofy.
No. The more homeless he looks, the more he's training.
Yeah, I guess we gonna see how true that is this season. And then I don't know. You're looking at like Steven Adams again, Stone Cold Killer. Like when he do go off, he's not like yelling and stuff like that. He get excited, but he ain't you ain't expecting him to do way too much there. So I don't know. And Cam Whitmore, maybe he could be the energy guy. But I just don't see him if he.
I don't see Cam Whitmore ever wanting to play on the bench if he can prove that he's a starter player.
Again, we're talking just next season.
But how can he prove he's a starter player if he doesn't?
I mean, he kind of already has, but
he got 17 minutes a game. There's a lot of things he needs to work on for sure. He got that CTE tunnel vision. Let me tell you. And then again, I know it's a summer league. I know he's a peer Hoover, but you telling me you went like what 1 to 10? Yeah, brother. You was second-year player. I don't ever want to see 1 to 10 ever again.
Clay went 0 for 10. Clay's a what? How many years has he been in the league?
Yeah, Clay. Oh, he got injured. He got his rings. Cam is the second year.
Wow, I can't believe wow. God forgive me. I just defended a Warriors player.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's over.
I don't know. It is what it is. Cam, second year.
Hey, Preston, Ryan went from a Rockets fan to a Heat fan to a Warriors fan, all in the span of 48 hours.
I think I got a game removed. Hang on 1 second. Don't worry. We'll
Play.
take care of that. Anyway.
But no, Preston, cue BBL Drizzy because what he's saying is fake. Cue it.
We're gonna move on.
Play it.
I just didn't. I ain't just hear that.
No.
Guys, I think that's really cutting it close there to where we want to be. Going forward, though, do you guys have any? Give me one expectation from the front office before we end off here. Give me one expectation for the front office. If you could talk to Stone or Tillman, or just Ime, coaching guy, if you could say, yo, hey, this is the expectation, this is the question I have, and this is how I would expect them to answer. Take a little snippet from the Rockets and Robin from yesterday. How would you answer that? AD, go ahead, man. If you're talking to somebody like that.
If I'm talking to Tillman Fertitta, my question isn't a Rockets question. My question is, when is the Comets coming to Houston? When are you gonna make that?
He
When
wants
you gonna
some.
make it? You gotta make it happen, Tillman. You already made the NHL because that's gonna happen. Make the Comets, bring the Comets back.
I respect it. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Ryan, what you got, man?
If I'm talking to Tillman Fertitta or Rafael Stone or Ime Udoka, I'm not asking any Rockets questions. I'm asking about how I can get involved with the team and work for them, or work with them, or somehow get involved with their broadcasting team.
What a
That's
cop
what
answer.
I'm figuring out.
Do we still like Ryan Hollins? Do we still like Ryan Hollins?
What do you mean?
No, because he's still a part of the team, part of the broadcasting team, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if we like him, but I don't know if we dislike
I
him.
didn't know because it seemed like we were switching out every other year or something. I don't. I didn't know.
Maybe. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I'll end it off here. The question I would have is, when are they? How far is the leash for certain players? You know what I
That's a
mean?
good question. Yeah.
We looking at again. I hate to say it, but we looking at Jalen Green. We looking at other players like Dylan Brooks. We're looking at Cam Whitmore. We looking at a couple other players too. Like if this is the season where we're like, we want to win, we want to be ready to go, we want to do this, this, and this, and this. Where's the leash? How far is it? Where does it stop? And
Keep going.
What is the plan? Who's the plan? What's the plan? What's going on? But I think that's all we got today, guys. So I appreciate watching. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Another H-Town Run on Houston Rockets basketball episode. Be sure to comment down below your thoughts on the starting five. Let us know. AD, man, plug yourself in. Where can we find you, brother?
Yeah, right here at the H-Town Rundown. That's where you gonna find me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Be sure to follow him on Twitter at Bully60 as well. Ryan, brother, where can we find you?
Another day, another speech. You can find me at RyanDime15 on Twitter, at RyanDime15 on Instagram. You can find me at on Rockets on Sports Illustrated. You can soon find me on Clutch City Scoop on Fansided. You can find me on the H-Town Rundown podcast, and you can find me on Rockets Genre Album.
Right on. Beautiful, beautiful. Be sure to follow at the H-Town Rundown on X as well as Instagram. And be sure to check out the YouTube channel, guys. We do a lot of stuff out over there. They got an episode coming out. NFL side got an episode coming out on Tuesday, every Tuesday. So be sure to check that out for the All 22. It's phenomenal work that they got over there. You can follow me at drip2ps_GAWD on Instagram as well as X. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. That's all we got.